Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are discussing my best and worst purchases of 2023. Now, it's always great to look back at your purchases of the year, make an assessment as to what went right and what went wrong. This can help you get a better understanding of your personal style or the direction that your style is going. And this can also help you make more conscious, worthwhile purchases for the new year. I also love these videos and find them very entertaining. So let's get right into it. And I hope you enjoy this video. By far, my favorite tops of 2023 had to be these Cause Sheer Merino Wool t-shirts. I picked these up in early September, and at first I have to say I was very disappointed in them. I was a little deceived by the website because they did not mention on there that these had a little bit of sheerness to them. However, when I received it, I could tell that they were sheer. For example, you could see this black hanger right through the top, and I'm actually wearing a turtleneck version of this, and you can see the outline of my bra. If you watched that haul, you might remember that I was very disappointed in them. I actually ended up returning 2 out of the 3 that I purchased. I ended up keeping the chocolate brown one, and I have been wearing it on repeat since. I quickly got over the whole sheer factor. I've been pairing it with a cute little brown t-shirt bra, and I just love how that looks. So much so I went back and repurchased the beige one, and recently now I've purchased the turtleneck version as well. The long sleeve tees have the thumb holes, which I've been absolutely obsessed with. The turtleneck version does not have it, but that's okay. I love how thin they are because they're great for layering. I can wear my jewelry over them, or basically layer any other piece of clothing on top of them without feeling too heavy and too warm. I'd say these are a spectacular buy, and I regret not purchasing more of them. I think most of them are sold out, but there's a few colors left. I might just have to try to get my hands on them. The top that I consider my worst purchase, unfortunately, has to be the Cezanne rim shirt. Look how absolutely gorgeous and beautiful this top is. The lace trimming, the lace in the front, beautiful arm detail. But why am I not reaching for this, with the exception of a couple of times I styled it on my channel? In all honesty, I think it's because I've gotten away from this very frilly, lacy style. It's just not an aesthetic that I reach for or gravitate to anymore. It's a little too romantic and feminine, but not in a strong feminine way, in a very soft and ethereal feminine way. So that's not really what I'm going for. I like a very strong, powerful, sexy, and sophisticated feminine look. And this just doesn't say it for me. For outerwear, my best purchases of the year have to be my Frankie Shop blazers. I have this beige tan one, and I also have a black one, which is currently at the dry cleaner. That's how much I wear it. I do love the oversized aesthetic of them. I kind of wish I'd sized down to a small because I did buy medium, and this one in particular is a different cut from the black one, and it's a much larger cut. So I don't reach for this one as much as the black one, but still, between the two of them, I've worn them on repeat all year long. I'd have to say they are my favorite go-to blazers. My runner-up has to be the Cezanne Michelle jacket. I purchased that so late in the year, I didn't want to include it as a winner, but definitely a runner-up. It really finishes an outfit beautifully. It's that third layer that I always speak about. It gives me that effortless, easygoing vibe. My worst outerwear purchase has got to be this H&M bomber jacket. Now, bomber jackets were huge all last year, so that's why I got this. I picked it up in the early spring. I've styled it a couple of times. It has a very casual, sporty, utility look to it with a little pocket here on the sleeve. I do love that it's cropped, but it is kind of puffy and bulky, and I think that made me reach for it a lot less. My style tends to be very sleek, smooth, clean lines, and so really made a mistake on this one because it just does not suit my style. For the trousers, I'd have to say my most worn and best purchases of the year have to be the Uniqlo ankle-length tapered trousers. Now, I picked these up probably in April, I think, and I just fell in love with the silhouette. They are a high rise coming up just to my belly button. They're somewhat of a flat front, and they're a perfect length that ends just at my ankle. Wearing them with my white sneakers to a kitten heel ballerina flat or even a high heel pump, they are versatile and go with pretty much everything. The only thing I would change about these is the fabric construction, as they are predominantly made with polyester and rayon, but they still drape beautifully, they steam beautifully, and they hold up as I wear them. I have this beige color, I also have a sage color, and I have these white ones which I wore on repeat all summer long. I definitely think these are great, inexpensive, easy, throw on and go, effortless, chic, and very wearable. I think this is a classic silhouette that Uniqlo tends to put out often. So if they're available, I'll link them down below. along with all the things that you see here today. If you're on the hunt for some tapered ankle length trousers, you should definitely give these a try. My worst purchase in the trouser department has got to be the other half of those beautiful Frankie Shop blazers that I just showed you. It's the matching trousers. I have to say, unfortunately, I just did not reach for these nearly as much, or almost at all. I almost probably did not reach for these at all. And I can definitely pinpoint the reasons why. They have all the things that I love about a trouser, but somehow it's just not executed as well as I'd like it to be. They are super high-waisted and they fit great at the waist. They do have a tremendous amount of pleating, which normally I do love a pleat, but these do unfortunately create a lot of bulk in that area. I like the drape of the leg, but the opening is not very big. This is more of like a straight cut trouser, and also the length is not quite long enough for me to wear one of my favorite heels. I can probably get away with a kitten heel, but for the most part these require me to wear a flat with them, and for that reason I really don't reach for them that much. I love a heel, whether it's a kitten heel or a sky-high stiletto. I prefer a heel over a flat any time of day. I'm finding myself gravitating less and less to shorter length trousers, ones that you wear with sneakers or flats, because I tend to reach more for trousers that require a heel. I just love that elongating effect. I love that feminine touch, and wearing these with flats just does not give enough femininity to them. I do want to hang on to these because they are a set with the blazers, but I've almost never worn the two of them together. I'm probably wasting money and precious real estate keeping them in my closet, but I'm just not ready to part with them quite yet. Now, as much as I love my tapered ankle length trousers, my most worn bottoms of 2023 had to be in the denim department. Starting off with a purchase I made very early on in the year. These are the Reformation Carry wide leg denim. I absolutely love these. These are so fabulous. They hit that nod for the trend, but I also find them to be a very classic and stylish silhouette that I'm sure to keep wearing them beyond the wide leg trend. They're a high-waisted denim, 5-pocket style, and a very relaxed wide leg fit. They're super long, so I have to wear them with some nice high heels. I picked them up in a size 29, but I've lost a little weight since then, so they do run a little large on me now, but I'm wearing them nonetheless. I just add a belt on with them. Reformation still carries the carry jean, maybe not in this specific color, but they do have a wide assortment of colors that this comes in. I definitely recommend, if you're still on the hunt to check off that wide leg denim trend for the season, definitely check these out. Also, a very good denim purchase that I made, but this was a little later in the year. However, I'm still going to group it in here because I've probably worn this more in the last 2 months than I have any other bottom in my closet, and that is the Cause Arch jean. This kind of follows that same silhouette of the tapered ankle length trousers that I love so dearly. This has a little more of a barrel style through the leg, but not in a overly exaggerated way like a clown. It's very, very subtle. These are also 100% cotton, and I love a rigid denim without any stretch. I love the length of them, and I love that they taper at the bottom, again making them versatile for anything from a sneaker to a flat to a kitten heel and a high heel. I've been dressing them down during the day and dressing them up in the evening for a date out, and I just love how these look. I'm not sure if Cause is still carrying this particular silhouette, but I'll link it below if it's available. I definitely want to try to pick these up in another wash if Cause still carries them. Now, beyond the two jeans, I can't have a best of category for my denim without mentioning the Taz Reformation denim skirt. This has got to be my most worn item of the entire year beyond anything else that I own. I bought this early in the year, maybe March, maybe February or March. I remember being on a serious hunt for a denim skirt, popped into the Reformation store, saw the sample hanging on the hanger, tried it, loved it, and I've not looked back since. I think a lot of you loved this too when I styled this up multiple ways in a video in the springtime. A lot of you purchased this as well, so hopefully you're enjoying it as much as I am. I love the super maxi length of it. I love the slit in the front. I love that it's 100% cotton. The only thing I would change about this skirt was the raw hem. After some washes, it just didn't really bother me that much. I do clip these off on occasion when I'm finding them to be a little too long and ragged like they are right now. In general, this is just such a flattering skirt. I do think they still have it available. If you missed my latest video, I discussed 10 most wearable trends for 2024. before, so I'll link that below in case you missed it. But we're still going to be seeing a whole lot of the denim skirt this year, and you'll definitely continue to see me styling this. My worst purchase in the denim category, unfortunately, has to be the baggy jean from Uniqlo. This is the beige color. I picked it up in the springtime, I think heading into summer, because I wanted a neutral colored jean to create monochrome outfits with. As far as the fit, I thought it was great. It did fit me great through the waist, and I loved the baggy style of them. But the inseam of this is a 31. It's a little too long and sits on the top of my foot a little too much, making it feel a little bottom heavy when I'm wearing it with flats. But it was a little too short to pair with a kitten heel or a higher heel. So that's just like an in-between awkward length. I either like my trousers to be super long so that I could wear them with some high heels, or long enough to get away with a kitten heel, or ankle length so I could wear it with a variety of shoes. This awkward in-between length was just not working for me. That's the main reason why I didn't reach for these. I actually did wear these last month on a night out. What I ended up doing was I did an over-exaggerated large cuff at the bottom so I could wear them with some ankle booties, and I really loved how that looked. So maybe that might revive my use of these jeans, and perhaps in the springtime I can add a large cuff like this and pair it with a kitten heel or a stiletto heel instead of an ankle booty, and maybe get some more use out of these. Let's quickly pivot to some best and worst purchases in the beauty department before we jump back into accessories. I don't mention beauty and skincare too much on my fashion videos, but I do mention it a lot in my vlogs. However, I did mention it in a recent video of why you might hate your clothes. Beauty and skincare is so important when putting together a total package and making sure that you're always putting your best foot forward. So being very conscious of your skincare and your makeup routine, however minimal it might be, really just sometimes helps amp up the way you feel in your clothes. I'll link that video below in case you missed it. And be sure to check out my vlogs because I always go a little more in-depth in my self-care and beauty routines. I'm just going to touch on a couple of major hits and misses of the year. A major, big, and best purchase of the year was this Sephora palette. I have had this for the entire year, and it's probably been my go-to palette. I'm not one that goes crazy on buying tons and tons of makeup. This was a palette that I fell in love with, and I just gravitated to it all year. You can see how very well loved and well used this is. Gorgeous neutral palette, had some shimmers at the bottom, a great neutral color here that goes over the entire lid, and then just some great shades here for some matte options. In fact, I tried to repurchase this at Sephora last month, but this is gone. However, a brand new version of it was released, and it's this one here. The colors are absolutely gorgeous. They're almost very similar to the original. You can see here they're actually even almost more wearable because the colors are a little bit lighter in the new palette. I'm probably going to get some really good use out of this in 2024. For the worst purchase of the year, I would have to say it's the Tarte Creaseless Concealer. Now, I bought into the hype. This has been a much loved product by many influencers and just many women in general for years and years and years now. I finally gave into it because I heard rave reviews about how well it goes on the skin, but let me tell you, this is not good for mature under eyes. At least not for mine anyway. Personally, I tend to suffer from very dry, crepey under eyes. Usually, no matter how much I moisturize and try to baby my under eye, it is just always looking very crepey and very wrinkly. With the lights on me, it's really hard to see, but in person, you have to trust me. It is quite crepey under there. I also suffer from very dark coloring under my eyes too, so not only do I have a little bit of a bag, but I also have dark circles, and I also have the crepey skin. So that is the trifecta of aging that we all want to avoid. Applying this to my under eyes, no matter how thin and smooth I try to get it, it just completely amplifies the texture that's under my eyes. So for that reason, this has been downgraded to a little spot corrector here and there. If you happen to suffer with crepey under eyes, please let me know what concealer you gravitate to because I really need to find a good one. And when it comes to skincare, I do have a morning and evening routine, but I don't go overboard with tons and tons of products. I just focus on the most tried and true essentials for aging skin. One of those being a retinaldehyde or Retin A. A couple of years ago, I signed up with Curology and I started a tretinoin prescription. That is the generic name for Retin A. And I'd have to say, I think this is doing wonders for my skin. It has definitely slowed down the aging process. I do think my skin is looking a lot better for it. This is not sponsored. None of this is sponsored. All of these items have been purchased with my own hard-working money. But I do have to say, I love the ease of this, not having to go to a dermatologist. This just gets shipped to you every month or every couple of months. All you do is upload a couple of photos of your skin, and a qualified skincare specialist helps you out. I think they're an RN for the most part, but they will analyze analyze your skin and let you know what you need. So mine has a combination of the tretinoin, azelaic acid, and niacinamide. I've started off with a low prescription of like 0.025, and as your skin gets acclimated, you can request and send more pictures and they'll amp up your prescription level. Now I'm up to a 0.05, and the next bottle coming to me is a 0.075. This has been a 2-year process, I think. I've been using this for quite some time, so it's not something that you want to jump right into. Just ease yourself into it so that your skin can acclimate. So I highly recommend looking into this service, or if you have a relationship with a dermatologist, to discuss possibly looking into tretinoin. And a little disclaimer, I'm not a dermatologist or plastic surgeon or qualified in any way to discuss these sort of things. It's just what I'm doing and just making a recommendation for you to maybe explore it if you want to. For my worst skincare product purchase, I would have to say it is the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen. Now, I bought this on a recommendation from my sister because I wanted a non-tinted sunscreen to be able to wear when I don't feel like having any color on my skin. This is an SPF 40, and I do have to say it goes smoothly on the skin. It almost feels very kind of slippery and silicone-ish or something, but that's the issue with it. It doesn't wear well under makeup, and it also does not dry on the skin. You constantly just feel like this slick, oily feeling on your skin. I've tried to mat it down with some powder, and that always helps, but I don't want to have to always constantly wear powder over my entire face. I usually just wear it under my under eyes or where I need a little bit of coverage, but this always forced me to have to kind of dry it out on my entire face, and I always hated that feeling. I did finish off this bottle for the most part, just wearing it on my neck and chest, but all in all, this is not something I'm going to be purchasing again. All right, let's jump into accessories. I'd have to say my best purchases in the accessories department has to be this Isabel Marant belt. Now, I purchased this in the fall, but the amount of times that I have worn this belt has just been absolutely ridiculous. I've been wearing it with almost every single outfit that I have. It is a two-toned style. This is the Lecce belt that has that slip-through detail here, and you can wear it either on the tan side or the black side. Either way, it looks absolutely fabulous, and it's such an easy throw on and go type of belt. It's nice and clean looking. It doesn't have a large logo or any kind of overly obnoxious detail on it. I've been wanting this for a very, very long time, and I'm so glad I got my hands on it. Moving on to shoes. For the best purchase, I have to say it is a tie, and both shoes are from Mango. Starting off with these pointed toe flats that I purchased in the early part of the year. These have been my absolute most favorite, most worn pointed toe flats I've ever had. I love the buckle detail. I love the strappy detail. I love this very pointed toe. It's so elongating and so flattering. I've definitely gotten a lot of wear out of these. You can see they're already a little scuffed up, but these have been such a magnificent purchase from Mango. I'd say sometimes Mango is very hit or miss in their clothing because sometimes they can use some very cheap fabric, so you do need to do a lot of digging, but I'd say that any shoes I've purchased from Mango are really good quality. In the second part of the year, I picked up these kitten heels. These are, I think, Prada or Miu Miu dupes. They are so gorgeous. They also have this buckle and strappy detail on them. They're kind of like a grayish color. Look at that kitten heel. It's so perfect. Sling back style too. These are a very classic and timeless style, one that I can always reach for even beyond the length of the kitten heel trend. I've just been wearing both on repeat for the entire 2023, and I'm definitely going to be reaching for these this year as well. As for my worst shoe purchase of the year, has to be these Steve Madden Western boots. Now, these are beautiful. They look great on, but I'm just not a Western type of girl. I reached for these one time to style them, I think with my maxi skirt in the maxi skirt video last spring. But aside from that, I have not worn them in real life. I haven't reached for them at all. Not feeling it. I'm not feeling that Western style, that boho style. It was a style that I used to love several years ago, but just in this day and age, it's just really not my vibe. I don't know. They're just at this point taking up room in my closet. My husband really loves them, so maybe I'll save them when we go to Joshua Tree on vacation, because this is very much kind of that vibe. Now for jewelry, I found this to be a very difficult choice because I do love all my jewelry and I love to wear it and enjoy it. But if I had to pinpoint the best and worst purchases, I'd say it all came from Dubai. For my best purchases, I'd have to say it is a tie between this beautiful gold bangle and this beautiful white gold cuff. Both of these were purchased in the souk in Dubai. I reach for these constantly. These are part of my everyday wear. I love them so much. This white gold is absolutely spectacular, and I love the laser cut detail on this gold bangle. It just shines. I've been wearing these on repeat ever since we visited Dubai in July, and I really truly love these so much. For my worst purchase of the year, I also picked this up in Dubai, and it is the Van Cleef Vintage Alhambra necklace. Now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love this. That is probably the most beautiful piece of jewelry I own. It's stunning, and I adore it, and I treasure it. I have it in safekeeping in my safe, and for that reason, I just don't go to the safe and reach for it. I'd like to say that's the same issue with my Cartier bracelets. I just keep them in there for safekeeping, and maybe I'm just too lazy to go in there and grab them when I want to wear them. But it's so weird because these are also just as expensive, and I leave these out and just reach for these constantly. Maybe a note to myself for 2024 to get a little more use out of my beautiful jewelry. After all, it does me no good sitting in a safe where I can't love it and appreciate it. Last but not least is the category of handbags. Now, I'd have to say my best purchase for this category was also made in Dubai, and that is the Bottega Teen Suede Jodi. This is an absolute exquisite bag. I love the intraziato weave throughout it. I love that it's suede and not leather. It just gives it a little bit of a special feel to it. They sold me on it because they said it is a little more rare than the leather bags. Not that it was more expensive, it was the same price, but it just made it feel a little more special to me. This color is gorgeous, and I started wearing this on repeat since I got it sprayed to protect it. I'm still very weary and scared to wear it, but I force myself to take this out and enjoy it. It does hold a considerable amount, so I can wear it in the daytime or in the evening, and it looks gorgeous dressed up or dressed down. I am so in love with this. It honestly makes me want to get another one in another color. Maybe not in suede, but in a leather. But this size is perfect. Not too big and not too small. Just right. And sadly, my worst handbag purchase has to be the Louis Vuitton Cousine. Now, this is something I bought very impulsively last January, and I was so in love with it when I first got it. I still love it. I still love how it looks. I love the gold chain. I love the black embossing. It's very subtle, but also very statement-ish. And I think it's the perfect size. I just love how it goes right under the arm, and it's beautiful. I love it. I love it. However, it is just not practical. You can see here that it has 3 compartments, a center and 2 side. These are all rather thin areas, and they just don't allow you to put a lot of things into them. For example, if I were to throw my sunglasses and my wallet, it just gets really bulky and weird looking. Like it just looks funny. It just looks weird. I honestly wish it was like just one large compartment. That would have made me so much happier. I just don't find it to be very helpful when I wear this out at night and I want to put my vlogging camera in here. It just makes it really bulky and poofy, and then it just doesn't look attractive anymore. Perhaps I just trade out my wallet for a card holder, and perhaps I take my sunglasses out of its case. I don't know. I mean, I do want to get more use out of it. I have worn it throughout the year. It's not like it's just been sitting in my closet collecting dust, but I definitely got far more use out of my Bottega than this Louis Vuitton. So for that reason, I have to call this a bad purchase, but I'm not going to stop wearing it. I will keep enjoying it. Eventually, I'll get my cost per wear out of it, but I just wish I could reach for this a little bit more. I'd love to know what your best and worst purchase of the year was, so leave a comment down below because I love chatting with you, and I always respond to each and every one of you. Please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please consider subscribing if you're new here. This channel is all about chic, feminine, sophisticated, and fashion-forward style. So if you like that type of content, I think you're going to love it here. So make sure you subscribe before you leave today. Here's a couple of videos on the screen that you can click onto next. Thank you again so much for being here. I appreciate all your love and support. Have a fabulous week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.